Free tools usually have a catch. So, is this free all in one marketing and course creation platform really worth it? Since I'm a course creation expert, I spend a lot of time testing and researching platforms that can work for all budgets. So, in this review, I'm going to bring you behind the scenes as we explore Systeme, an all in one online business platform, to unpack the pros, the cons, and ultimately answer the question, is Systeme the right choice for you? Hey, I'm Melissa, and welcome back to Wit and Wire, where we help everyday experts become profitable course creators. In case we haven't met, I used to work for one of the most well-known course creation platforms, as well as an 8-figure course creator. I also actively run a multi-6-figure online course business here at Wit and Wire, and I've spent tens, if not hundreds of hours probably researching today's top course creation platforms. So within the last year or two, a relative newcomer kept coming up in my tests and in my creator network. It's called Systeme, or Systeme.io, and they're known for having one of the most robust free platforms for online business owners. Now, I'm always a little skeptical of free solutions. So now that I've tested it personally and talked with a few active users, I wanted to share what I learned so you can make an informed decision for your business. So here are the key questions I plan to address. Number 1, how can you build a free website in Systeme and what are the limitations? Number 2, how can you create and sell online courses in Systeme as well as products, services, and even physical goods? Number 3, how can you create marketing funnels and automations? And can Systeme really replace your email marketing platform? And 4, finally, who is this the right fit for? And what are the main pros and cons of Systeme compared to other platforms like Kajabi or Podia? First, let's talk about plans and price points. When you go to witandwire.com/systeme, you'll see that there's a free plan as well as paid plans. And I think most business owners can get started on the free plan. You can have up to 2,000 contacts, which includes email subscribers or buyers. You can have one course with unlimited students or a community with unlimited students or both. I think where most people are going to hit a limit though is with automations and tagging. So if you use Systeme for email marketing, most likely this is where you're going to hit the limit on the free plan and ultimately move up potentially to a paid plan. So I think it's good to take a look and see which plan you might end up with. I think a lot of business owners will find that they end up on the startup plan, which is $27 a month, or you can pay annually to save 37%. That's still a great price point though. So no matter where you end up, we're all going to get started on the free plan, and I'll meet you in the dashboard. Here's a quick tour of the Systeme admin dashboard. When you log in, you'll see a few different widgets, and as you have more email subscribers and sales, these will auto-populate with more information. Then along the top, you can see different menus with drop-downs that correspond to different areas of your business. So here we are under dashboard. You can see all of your contacts, meaning email subscribers and buyers. You can create funnels, emails, and automations, which we'll cover shortly. And the word blog is a bit misleading. This is the area where you can create a website, which we'll also talk about. Then under products, you can create physical products, courses, or communities, and then sales tracks all of your transactions and your affiliate referrals. Then you can always get help here or browse their help articles. And then under the face icon, you can change your admin settings or your account settings, as well as your password. To start, let's create a website in Systeme. So under blogs, this is actually where you can create a website. So I'm going to click create, and I'm going to give this a name. I'll use the name of my business, and then you can start with one of these templates. So maybe for today, we will go with this template and click select and then save. Anytime you add a new blog, there are 4 default pages that you'll see when this template loads. Here, let's click in, and now you can see posts that are all just lorem ipsum or dummy text. And then these pages include the 4 primary pages: homepage, a post list page, which is the blog page, your about page, and a contact page. So up first, let's click into the home page. This brings us into the page editor. And if you've used any other website builders, this might look a bit familiar. You see on the left different elements. You can drag and drop them into your design. And then if you click anything on the page, there are individual elements, and they are part of rows or sections. And I think at the top, this breadcrumb feature is really useful. So right now I'm clicked into a text headline. I can back up into the full row, the bigger row, or even the entire section, which includes the main nav at the top. And then any active element will affect what you see in the side menu. So if I click a text element, you can see I have font size, I have a font type, I have all different types of options I can style. And if I double click the text, I can adjust the actual text on screen. Same thing if you click, let's say, this button. Now we have different menu items. So as a key takeaway, whatever you click on the website, that's what you see in the menu. It's a WYSIWYG editor. What you see is what you get. And I think for any of you who have built websites before, this will look pretty familiar. If you didn't like a given section, you can add new blocks, and they do have a couple of pre-created sections. Otherwise, you can add in elements. So maybe you would start by creating a row and add headers or text to build out exactly what you're looking for. You can see the option to add forms, videos, social icons, countdowns. They do have, I think, quite a few options, especially given that you can create this site for free. And you might also want to check out the settings, which affect the overall site. So you can see SEO settings here for this page. You can change the background color, and then scrolling back into the elements and back to the top. If you wanted, let's say, to edit and then lock in those changes, you would click Save Changes on the top. You can click the eye icon to preview it in a new window, and you can customize your site to suit your brand. Next, let's add a blog post. So back in the editor under blogs, you can see our list of 9 sample blog posts. I could create a new one from scratch, but let's go ahead and click into this sample post. You'll notice that the builder looks very similar to the website page builder. So one of the advantages of using an all-in-one platform like Systeme is the fact that all of the tools will feel similar on different parts of your business. The website page builder, the blog builder, and coming up the course lesson builder, they all use the same core set of elements and blocks. So that means once you can create one, you can create others. So I do think that's a big advantage. To edit this blog post, you can scroll down and then click any of these text elements to replace them with real content. The piece that you don't edit from this page is actually the title. If I click the exit button on the top right and leave without saving changes, the way to change the title is actually to click into the settings. So this is where you can set the title of your post. You can add a short description and change the slug, and you can also change the primary image for the post or update the blog categories. So you do have all of the features, but if you're used to a platform more like WordPress, they've just put some info here in the settings while others live in the blog editor. You also might be wondering, how can I use a custom domain? And to do that, you're going to actually head into settings, and there's a tab called custom domains. And by default, I'm using a Systeme domain, but you can click add domain to connect to an existing domain that you own. So if you don't already have a domain that you've purchased, my favorite domain registrar is Namecheap. You can check them out at witandwire.com/Namecheap. So for transparency, a custom domain will always have an associated price. And depending on the extension, something like a .com domain typically runs about $15 per year. So that cost is separate from the cost of using Systeme. So it's not technically a totally free website, but the website builder could be free. Next, let's create an online course in Systeme. From the dashboard, you can go to the products dropdown and head into courses. And I created a sample course already, but you could click add new course. And from here, you could give it a title, add your name, a brief description, and then you can change some defaults. For example, maybe you want a certain color as the default theme, and then I'm going to show you where this appears later on. You can also connect it to a sales page when you're ready to sell, and you'll also notice that this is where you can add your photo, a business logo, and a course cover or a thumbnail. So you can change any of these at any time. For now, I'm going to head back to the course that I've already made just to show you a sample. So when you start creating a course, the first thing you typically do is add modules and lessons. A module is a section. So you can see I have 2 modules, a welcome module and the first one, which is a sample from Course Builders called Profitable Idea. So what I did was click add module, and then I gave these 2 names. And then I added a few lectures. That's their word for lesson. So when you click add lecture, you can see it says give it a name, and then you can choose a starting template. But as a pro tip, what I prefer to do is actually create one lesson, and then I end up duplicating it once I have the settings that I like already configured. So let me show you what I mean. Up first, let's head into the course lifecycle method. So I have a title and I have a video. And you'll notice this looks very similar to both the page builder and the blog post builder. It's the same menu on the side with elements, and when you click an individual element, it gives me a new menu on the side to customize that element, in this case, a text block. So here you can see I added a video. So when you click on the video, you'll notice that I uploaded a file, I turned the controls on, and if you wanted, you could change the thumbnail image, which appears here. I can also continue to add additional elements if I want, but then in terms of the template idea for the lesson, I end up just duplicating this lesson again and again. That saves me a little bit of time so I don't have to delete the unnecessary elements from their template lessons. And if I were giving feedback to the system team, I would recommend simplifying their template lesson. I think it creates a bit of work. I'm actually going to head out of this back to the outline, and I'm going to show you how to add videos to your lessons in System. So I'm going to head into the bridge theory, and we are going to add a video to this lesson by scrolling down on the side and dragging and dropping in this video element. Now, when you click on it, that's how you can activate this side menu. And there are a few ways you can add videos. You can add a direct link, as they're showing you here with their demo YouTube video. You can do a custom embed if you're familiar with embedding from other tools, but I'm guessing most of you are going to choose upload file, where you upload your video file directly to System. So I'm going to click the upload icon, and then I'm going to select a file from my computer. The video will take a few seconds to upload, depending on how long it is, and I will click insert. And it might take a little bit of time to encode, but one more tip I want to share is that I would make sure, let's click on the video, that the controls are set to on. I personally don't like to autoplay the video. I like to have students hit play, but I want to make sure that they are able to see these controls on the bottom. Let's go ahead and save those changes, and then we'll click the eye icon to preview this in a new window. So here's a preview of what the course experience looks like to students in System. We have 2 sections, and then when you click into an individual lesson, you can see this is text only, this is a video, and then here is, we're missing actually the lesson I just added. And that gives us the opportunity to head back into the editor and make sure that we activate this lesson so that it goes live and appears to students. Now, you might remember in the settings, I mentioned that you can change the default theme. So maybe for today, I will choose teal and save those changes. And now when I go back to the preview and refresh the page, you can see that it alters the colors on the page so you can find one that suits your brand. I also want to show you how to add a downloadable resource to your course. So back in our course outline, let's head into the course lifecycle method. And I don't think this is obvious, but the element we're looking for is called button. So if I insert this button below the video, you can see when you click on this element, there are different options for the action when the button is clicked. It could go to a regular URL, but you can also click download file. And I'm going to use an existing PDF that I was working with before. And now when a student clicks this button, they would download that PDF resource. If you want to change the button text, you can scroll down here. Maybe I would say click to download. And if you didn't want additional subtext, you could actually just backspace this. In this menu, you'll also find, I think it's further down, the option to change the background color. Maybe I'll make it this green today. Let's click save to lock in those changes. And if you preview it in a new window, now you can see the button below the video with the access to download the PDF. When you're ready to sell your course, you'll need a sales funnel. So let's head over to funnels. And first, let's create a sales funnel. So I'm going to call this course builders. And then we are going to make sure this is in my currency, which is US dollar, and then click save. This brings us into the funnel builder. And on the left, you can see the different elements and you can edit them one by one. So for example, here you could start with what they call an order form. And I'm going to go ahead and just select this template and I'm going to view it here. And you can see, depending on the template that you choose, you have the options to customize what information you collect, what it looks like, as well as the formatting, which typically matches the branding of your site. Back over here, you can also check out the automation rules to happen when somebody does enroll to make sure they're enrolled in the correct course. You can also do things like track sales. So this would show you all of the purchases from this order form. And you can also try A/B testing or setting deadlines. You will also want to check out the thank you page. So once again, you could choose a template here. And then in the future, if you have a setting that you like, you can always duplicate this funnel for future checkout and thank you pages in the future. I do think an advantage to using an all-in-one platform like System is the fact that you can track stats throughout the funnel. You have the order form, the payment process, the enrollment, it's all in one place. So the ability to see that kind of data in a very simple, straightforward way, I think is really powerful and could help you grow your business. Let's head back to funnels to add one more type of funnel, and that's going to be an email opt-in. So let's say I had a download, which is our course creation toolkit, and I'm going to click save. I know it's in Euro, but I'm not going to worry about that. Let's head in here and see the difference. So now we have what's called a squeeze page to a thank you page. So depending on which funnel you choose, that will give you different options in the editor. Here, maybe I would scroll down, find a simpler page, maybe I like this one, and I could customize the page by clicking Edit. This will once again bring us into the now familiar editor. I could change the title here, download the course creation toolkit. I can change the text, I can change the image, I can make sure that the button goes to the right place, and when I'm done, I would lock in my changes. By the way, if you do want to download our free course creation toolkit with a comparison of all of our favorite course creation platforms, as well as my favorite equipment, you can download that for free at witandwire.com/course toolkit. We also have to talk about email marketing. Email marketing is the backbone of many online businesses, mine included. So I want to talk about how you can create newsletters as well as automations in Systeme. Let's head to emails and start with newsletters. A newsletter is a broadcast send that goes out to a group of subscribers at the same date and time. So I created 2 samples using the 2 styles of editors, the classic versus the visual editor. So let's start with the visual editor. You can see this is a fully customizable email, and the builder looks similar to what we've seen before. You have elements on the side to delete any of them. So I created this sample email. I included a variable which would put the first name of the subscriber here. And if you click on this text block, you could change the alignment, the padding, the font, any of it is customizable. Same thing with the button. This goes to a blog post. I can change the font, the style. I can change the background color of the button by choosing a new option here. And you could even customize the background by going here and choosing a different color or just making it white. Once you're ready, you would click Save Changes and then click Exit to head back to this screen where you could either send yourself a test, which I highly recommend, and then you could either send it immediately or schedule it for the future. Now let's head back to the newsletters. And I'm going to show you the other editing style, which is the classic editor. Here, it's just a straightforward text field. You can add links, you can add an image if you want, but this is a classic editor that would give you a more straightforward email that looks like it comes from like a real person versus a more stylized template email, which I think is more obviously from a business. No better or wrong decision, totally up to you. Systeme has both options. Then on the side, if I were ready to send this email, you can pick which tags you want to send them to. A tag is an indicator on a contact that says that they belong to a particular group. I don't have any in my demo account, but for example, maybe you have a tag that says that certain students are enrolled in certain courses, or you can have interest-based tags. This is a whole strategy unto itself, but it is useful to know that Systeme has tagging functionality because I think that that does enable you to use Systeme to send a lot of the core emails for your business. Speaking of which, we covered newsletters, but let's briefly head over to automations, and I'm going to head into workflows. So I have a test workflow, but let's go ahead and click Create, and we will have New Workflow just to show you what this looks like, and we'll click Save. Clicking in here, if you've used any other email marketing platforms, this is going to start to look like what most of them call automations. So first you choose a trigger. Usually you might pick if a tag is added or a form is submitted, and I think this is a good use case. So let's say you have a freebie. If somebody submits that form, what you probably want to do is connect it to that squeeze page, click Create. So now we're saying if somebody submits the form from the Course Creation Toolkit landing page, what we want to do is take an action. We want to send them an email. And then we could pick an email. I don't have one created. We're going to potentially create a new one. For now, I'm just going to click the X button. But you can see how this automation workflow would allow you to initiate a sequence starting with a trigger, usually based by a form or by adding a tag or another action that your user takes in your Systeme ecosystem. I also want to briefly talk about community. So under products, you can create a community, and I've created a demo community here to show you what it looks like. In the Home tab, you'll see all of the different feed posts created under topics. So this one was created under course creation. You can click on it and people can reply with their own comments. It's a pretty straightforward experience. I would say if community is a core part of what you're hoping to build with either your online course, your membership, or just your overall business, I don't necessarily think this is one of Systeme's strong points. That said, if you just want to test it out, or if you're more interested in selling courses or physical goods or even services, I think Systeme could work for you. I just have a hunch that this is going to be a little bit too basic for course creators and business owners who are really serious about creating an engaging community for their audience. Overall, for its price point, I think System really packs a punch. So if you're looking for the best budget option or even a free solution to get started, I think System can be a great choice. Most online business owners will quickly outgrow the free plan, so I do think it's good to budget for at least the lowest price point, which is currently $27 a month as of the time of this recording, and you can save a bit if you pay annually. But overall, there might just be features that you outgrow over time. But I think the worst thing you could do at this point is let the fear of indecision prevent you from moving forward. I would recommend going to witandwire.com/system, give it a try, see what you think. You can also download our free course creation toolkit, which has a side-by-side comparison of course creation platforms at witandwire.com/course toolkit. Overall, if you found this video helpful, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to Wit and Wire before you go so you don't miss any of our upcoming online business tutorials. While you're here, here's another video I think you might enjoy.